Good afternoon, everyone. In life, sometimes you're lucky, and I think I'm very lucky to have a great president while I'm serving time as your dean. And I wanted the president to come in and put a little bit of context into this big move, why it is being supported by the university, and what an incredible opportunity it is for the college. And so I thought it would be great if you just heard it from President Daniels, and that's the reason that we are here today. If there's some time after, we may have some opportunity to ask a few questions. There will be a microphone somewhere, I believe, so try and use that. We have statewide locations here also, so they'll be listening in. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce President Mitch Daniels.
I think I invited myself, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the genesis of this exactly, but I know that it probably stems from the fact that I've said to Gary more than once, first of all, how excited I am about possibilities in this college, and how if the time was ever right, I'd love to just come over and share that excitement, thank all the people who've been thinking hard and working on this, and so I'm pretty sure that's how today came about. I want to start for just a second, by rolling the tape back a little bit. Coming here as green as grass and new to all this, just, where are we, 20 months ago, there were a whole lot of things that confused me. I'm still confused about a lot of them. Yeah, are you? That's an honest answer. But among those things was, what's a college of technology when you've already got a college of engineering? How do those two things coexist, and what's the intersection between them? I quickly found out I wasn't the only one. There have been generations of people confused about that, or not 100% clear. And maybe the perimeters and the interactions and intersections and so forth have changed over time. I gather maybe they have. Particularly as many of you came forward with what I consider a very intriguing new idea about a new pedagogy and a new direction and even a new identity for this college, I've become enormously excited about it, and it's not just me. And so I just want to spend a few minutes on that today. Let me tell you, I was going to play it for you now. I'm just going to tell you. But yesterday at 1 o'clock, I was on a conference call. It originated out of the White House as one of these PR ventures that people in Washington like to do. And they had the Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan, there, and the Undersecretary of Education, a guy named Ted Mitchell, and then some person from the White House. And they had education press from all over the country were invited to call, and general press were invited to call in. And then they were announcing the selections for this so-called First in the World grants. 500 and some universities offered and competed. 20 or 24 or something were selected. 3 were on the call. 2 were schools you barely heard of, and then we were there. And so that was a nice privilege and nice little opportunity. Today, I got a string of links this long. It got attention, as it should have. But the cool thing was the following. I was the third of the 3 presidents. Each of us, after the preliminaries, was asked to just say a couple of minutes, that's all I said, about the application we had made. Ours happened to be about another of what we call the moves, which is the transformation of classrooms, the so-called impact approach that you're all familiar with, that spectrum of hybridizing basically new technologies with traditional methods. And but in bringing me on, Undersecretary Mitchell said a couple very gracious things. And Purdue is seen now as a very innovative school. They've done several things in addition to this grant that have caught our attention, including the changing of an entire college, he tells the nation. Not only that, in answering a question unrelated to us at the end of the audio conference, the question had to do with what barriers is the federal government, are there barriers the federal government puts in the way of innovation, was more or less the question. As I had hoped he would, he went straight to student financial assistance. And he says, you know, we've learned we've got to make it more flexible. We've got to make it accommodate things like competency-based education. Yes, you know. We're getting through. I just tell you this because he's talking about you. And that to me is just one little piece of evidence of something that I sense, and I'm hearing many other places, which is that the sorts of breakthroughs and changes that you are talking about in this college have great possibilities even beyond your college and this campus, and that's our first concern. But I just want to suggest to you that what is, at least here in potential, could really catch the eye of a lot of people elsewhere, and who knows, possibly spawn a lot of imitation. So that's just a starting point. I think by now I have progressed from kindergarten to 4th or 5th grade in my grasp of where you're headed, and in my ability to articulate that to other people. But I'm just telling you that even at that level, I cannot get 3 sentences into a rough description of the methods and pedagogy that you're discussing with people from the outside world without them resonating just swiftly and emphatically. When you talk about students who are trained from the first day and led from the first day to become great problem solvers, who have been working on projects frequently, who have been at the intersection of the humanities as well as the technical disciplines, who have had outside work experiences and probably off-campus experience. Just I don't get halfway down the list of the features that you're talking about without particularly people from business saying, finally, yes, those are the kind of people we're looking for. And then when you tell them that the goal here would be to certify specific skills and capabilities and mastery of specific competencies, they're all in. So I just really wanted an opportunity sometime to come and commend you for thinking this way. Now I see the potential for something so differentiated, which is the essence of market success, and I think so well matched to the needs of the national economy, but very specifically the economy of this state, that I think you're onto something. And I think you're onto something that a lot of people would like to come and help. I'm just really here to encourage you. I can't imagine the problems you'll have to solve and the adjustments you'll have to make, and the change is never easy. But you're here because you're experts at solving problems. And so if I step back, I ask myself, which of our colleges would I expect to be able to do something refreshingly different and carefully thought through and well matched to a new moment? It would be you folks. And so I suppose I shouldn't be surprised to see you, I hope, on the brink of such a breakthrough. So thank you very, very much. Please press on. I can say it here because I've said it other places. So there are 10 things on our list of initiatives that we believe will move Purdue further forward in the next few years. At least in potential, this is the one that I think has a chance to be the most important of them all, and also the most noteworthy elsewhere. So, vaya con Dios, and you know, if Dios isn't available, I'm there to help too. So, thank you. Are there any questions that I can answer for you?
Would you mind saying something I know you don't want to speak for the Board of Trustees, but I believe the board is really behind this too.
No, there isn't any question. The board is extraordinarily excited about it. Several of them come from backgrounds where they can imagine, or right now they are seeking new talent who have the sorts of skills and the sorts of preparation, the experience working in teams, for instance, that you would be even more closely associated with in the new format. And many of them have had a chance now to shop the idea or try the idea with others, and they've gotten exactly the same positive affirmation that I've heard so often. So, yeah, all the lights are green.
I have a question. When we talk about the Purdue Polytech and you know about our statewide sites, how does this filter out to our statewide sites, and how does that interact with the community colleges?
Yeah, thank you very much. I should have made mention. I mean, there's so many corners of this idea. I mean, the more you develop it and the more I listen, try to learn, the more I see. And thank you for reminding me I should have made mention earlier. I've made a very special point of saying that we have, in this college specifically, an outreach network that exceeds that of any other of our academic units. And that if we can make a go of this, would give this, the Polytechnic curriculum, a statewide reach in short order, or at least could. Incidentally, I think you know that when Gary and some of you, looked around for models of this, and there are very few, the ones that we found, it's Cal Poly, right? San Luis Obispo, is that the best model we can find? Are drowning in applications. Now, I've talked, and many of you have talked to many of your first 36 in the pilot cohort. You can't generalize necessarily from that, but there's something about, if this concept excites the potential employers of its graduates, it seems to be very, very attractive to young people who might come and study, and that seems to have been the experience elsewhere. If that's the case, and we can find a way, surely we could, to rather quickly involve the 8 tech centers that we have in one way or another, surely we should do that. Being able to say to both large philanthropic organizations and to our fellow taxpayers through the Indiana General Assembly, to whom we've made a very specific appeal about your Polytechnic Institute, that this is the college out of 10 where the most graduates stay in Indiana now. If you succeed in this venture, it is very well matched, really well matched to the growing economy of this state and to the sectors that are strong. Advanced manufacturing is just one of many good examples. No reason to believe that shouldn't continue, and that'll attract investment, public and private, I believe, on an ongoing basis. And the tech centers could be a very good argument and a good piece of its implementation if we get airborne. All right. Well, let me just say again, there is no endeavor we're involved in right now about, at least in the potential, about which I'm more excited, and it's not just me. I can't fully estimate, I know, all the work and all the new dances that people might have to learn here. But when we acknowledge, and I think it's simply, I don't think it's a theory, I think we're acknowledging reality, and say that higher ed that succeeds and is still vibrant and successful and relevant 10 and 20 years from now will have to look somewhat different. I think this is the single best possibility Purdue has to meet that test and lead that change. And I just can't encourage you strongly enough. I think if you bring this off, you'll have a stronger college, first of all. But I think you'll all have something really to be proud of. And you'll have something that you are known for. And that's, what we look for That's what we look to great faculty to do. Thanks a lot and good luck.